Hey there, Nicole. So, this is a very good question. Finally, something that I can get a little bit more depth into, that's not far beyond or, already answered inside of this group chat. So, your question was, what are the best platforms for freelance models to connect with brands and photographers? So, again, this has to do with your fundamentals. Modeling is not a monolith. There is no, hey, every single model needs to live in this area, needs to do this niche, needs to get this in their portfolio, this exact shot. They need to do this inside of their social media. They need to do that when they're talking to somebody. They need to apply to this job. They have to be on that platform. They have to get this agency. Modeling is not a monolith. What does that mean? Every single model's journey will be different. Even if we looked exactly the same, even if we lived in the exact same area, even if we had the same niches, right? We have different whys, we have different goals, we have different things that we want to do inside of our modeling career. We have different ways that we're going to do our portfolio. We have different ways that we're going to connect to different people in different ways. There's going to be different agencies that want us. There's going to be different clients that are actually going to consider us. It's going to be different. Okay. What we do here at the Model University is we give you a process that you can follow. Okay. But not a you have to get this, you have to have this niche, you have to do this in this market, you have to have this, like, let it go. That's not how this works. So when it's like, oh, what are the best platforms, depends on you. What are your model fundamentals? What type of modeling do you do? What area do you do that modeling in? What are your goals as a model? Like, all those things are going to color what platforms work best for you, what brands you even want to be connecting with. It all intertwines. And I'll put it to you like this, as like an example. When it comes to connecting with like photographers, right? If you live in a small town and the nearest market is an hour away, the best place for you to connect with a photographer might be online. It might be through social media, right? Because it costs zero to be on social media. You can reach out to people who are in that nearby market without having to physically drive there to go to an in-person networking event. Do you understand what I'm saying? Versus if you live in like a New York, an LA, or Miami, even though you can connect with people online, it might be better for you to go to an in-person networking event where they're doing, you know, a photography class, or like, it's like a free shoot for a shootout. That's what they call it. Some people call it that. Not everybody calls it that. But that's when like photographers and models come together and they just shoot on different backgrounds, and everybody gets like, certain time frames, and they get to like network, XYZ. Everybody gets photos. If you're living in a bigger city, that might be a better way for you to connect with photographers, simply because there's so many people in your city. Reaching out on social media might not be enough to get people to take you seriously. So taking a 15-minute drive to go to one of those in-person shootouts, right? That might actually get you deeper connections that are better for you as a model based on where you live. Do you see what I'm saying? This is why I say, like, what are your fundamentals? Same thing with brands. If your modeling niche is beauty, you're going to want to connect with beauty brands more so than clothing brands. Why? Because your modeling niche is different. Okay. It doesn't mean that you can't connect with clothing brands, but it means that for the type of modeling that you do and for the connection to be great both ways, you want to connect with brands that actually fit your niches. How will you know your niches? Your model fundamentals. Do you see why I keep bringing you back to the fundamentals? Because every single question you're going to ask me, and this is not just you, this is all models, it's always going to go back to your fundamentals. And if you don't have them, or they're incorrect, or they're outdated and they're not updated, then you could be setting the framework, setting the groundwork, and setting the path for yourself to really not succeed, to be frustrated, burnt out, and stop. Because imagine you have no idea what your niches are. You have no idea what location your market is in. You just don't know. So you spend all this time just connecting to photographers that you come across on social media. They don't value you because you don't do the type of modeling that they do photography for. You don't know that. They know that. So now anytime you want to collab, they want to charge you. Why? Because you have not shown them what you do well and why they should work with you. Because if you did, you wouldn't be connecting with them, because you would know that that's not the photographer that's actually going to be somebody you can collab with and build your team with. See what I'm saying? So even though you spend all this time connecting with people on social media, reaching out to people in person, following up with people, if you don't know your fundamentals, you have no idea if these people are actually going to be a value to you and you a value to them. So when it comes to like, oh, what's the best platforms? It's like, well, What are your fundamentals? And from there, the best platform becomes quite clear. Because if you know, again, what your niches are, you know the area that your market is in, you can definitely figure out, hey, is it better for me to do in-person networking or is it better for me to stay online? If I need to stay online, where do people who do what I do in my area, what platforms are they on? Cool. If it's better to be in person, what in-person networking events can I bring value to and can bring value to me? But again, if you don't know your fundamentals, you'll never be able to answer those questions. So that's where I would start.